Hi, this is Theo from PocketBlocks.com. Today I'm going to review this Pendorra Stylus pen. A few weeks ago, this company Pendorra, that is spelled Pendorra, they contacted me and asked if I'm interested to review their latest stylus. It looks very similar to Apple Pencil, so I'm intrigued to find out how well it performs. In this review, I'll be talking about some differences between this pen and the Apple Pencil and also the Adornit Dash 2. Alright, let's talk about the build quality. The build quality is quite good. This whole thing is made of metal. The surface is smooth and there's this sheen when it reflects the light. This pen comes in 4 different colors: rose gold, silver, gray, and pink. And it also comes with a USB adapter. That's because right at the back here, behind the end cap is a USB charging port. It uses a male connector, so that's where this adapter comes in. Let me put it together. With the adapter connected to the back of the pen, you can now plug this into your computer's USB port or a USB charger, and it would actually stick out like this from the charging port. Make sure you do not lose this end cap because behind it is the power button. If you lose this cap, then there's no way for you to switch on the stylus, so do not lose this. Because of the shape of the micro USB port, make sure you align it properly with the end cap before you put it in so that you don't damage the port. And once you put it back, you can just press this button here and it will blink and it turns on immediately. The automatic power saving mode is quite aggressive. With 2 minutes of inactivity, it shuts itself down, so that's actually quite irritating. I wish it was 5 minutes or 10 minutes. This is an active stylus that is battery powered. I'm not sure about the battery life, but it's around 1 to 2 weeks. It really depends on how often you use this, so it's very difficult for me to state a number for the battery life. But so far, I've used it for weeks. I only charged it once. The battery is used to power this 1.9mm tip. This is a small tip so it doesn't block off the lines when you're writing or drawing. The tip is firm and it doesn't wobble. You can use this stylus on any touchscreen mobile device. You just press the power button, it switches on, and you can start using it immediately. It doesn't require Bluetooth connection, and you can use it on any iOS, Android, or Windows touchscreen devices. And here I have with me is an iPad mini. This is the MediBank Paint Pro drawing app, and I'll be testing this app and other apps and other devices to let you see how this pen performs. I will be testing the stylus in horizontal position. That means my hand will be holding the stylus like this when I'm writing, and in this position where the pen is 45 degrees, and then in this position where it's in 90 degrees. Right now the iPad mini is in portrait mode and my stylus is horizontal. Let's see if there's any misalignment. So there is some misalignment which is quite significant. It appears to the right side of the tip. Let me turn the stylus 45 degrees and do the same thing. There is still some misalignment. And now the stylus is 90 degrees. Seems like there is no misalignment. So let me turn this iPad mini horizontally. So now it's in landscape mode, and I'm going to try it with my stylus horizontally again. And it seems that this time around there is not a lot of misalignment. This is quite close to the tip. And if I turn the stylus like this, I get misalignment again. So whether or not you have misalignment, it will really depend on how you are holding the stylus and the orientation of your device. Let me try the diagonal lines. Usually for active styluses like this, they have a problem. They may actually produce jitter when you're drawing diagonal lines slowly, so there is slight jitter. So there's definitely some slight jitter when you are drawing diagonally, but if you draw fast, then this is not really a problem. By the way, the misalignment problem is not isolated to the Pendorra Stylus pen. Now I am using the Adonit Dash 2 with the stylus horizontally and the iPad mini in portrait mode. So you can see that there is misalignment as well. Let me turn this horizontally. So the misalignment is gone. And for Adonit Dash 2, let's see if it can draw diagonal lines without any jitter. So it does jitter, the lines are a bit wavy when you're drawing slowly, but not a problem if you draw fast. So in terms of functionality, the drawing performance, between Pendorra pen and the Adonit Dash 2, they are very, very similar. Some drawing apps will use software correction to smooth out the lines. For example, in Medibank Paint Pro, the diagonal lines, they are more wavy. And this app that you are looking at right now is Wacom Bamboo Paper. The diagonal lines on the left side, they are drawn with Pendorra Stylus pen, and the two blue lines on the right side, they are drawn with Adonit Dash 2. Another thing to note is whether or not there is lag. It really depends on how the drawing app or the handwriting app, how they are programmed. I'm now using the iPad Pro in portrait mode. So just now, if you can remember, the iPad mini in portrait mode, there were misalignment when I used the stylus like this. So I'm going to use this in portrait mode with the stylus like this again. And notice that there is no misalignment here. So in portrait mode on the iPad Pro, it works very well. However, when I turn it around in landscape mode, the misalignment appears again. So for some reason on the iPad Pro versus the iPad mini, the circumstances at which the misalignment appear, it's totally opposite. Enough with iOS, let's try the pen on Android. This is my phone with Android version 6.0. This app is Wacom Bamboo Paper. Now the phone is in portrait mode. The stylus is horizontal. So the misalignment here is quite significant. By the way, there is no pressure sensitivity or palm rejection support for this stylus. So if you want to prevent stray strokes when drawing or writing, you do have to lift your hand or your palm from the writing surface. Let me turn the phone horizontally and try again. Now when the phone is horizontally, the misalignment problem is gone. Let's try and draw diagonally and see what happens. The misalignment is there, and the lines have slight jitter as well. Let me switch to a different Android device. This is another phone, but this runs on Android version 7.0. So let me try it again. The misalignment here is quite significant as well. Let me turn this horizontally. The misalignment is still there, so regardless of how I turn my phone or orientate my hand posture, there is misalignment. So is this a problem with this stylus? I'm not too sure. Let me switch over to the Adonit Dash 2. This is Adonit Dash 2. There is misalignment as well. Let me turn this. Misalignment is still there. So this is definitely not a problem that is specific to the Pendorra Stylus. It affects the Adonit Dash 2 as well. So after testing this stylus with so many devices, I can say that the orientation of your device, it matters a lot. For example, right now I'm using it on the iPad Pro in portrait mode. It works wonderfully. There is no misalignment issues at all. I can draw shapes like this, and the lines come out where I expect them to be, and they go where I want them to go. However, with the iPad mini in portrait mode, there is misalignment, so you have to turn the iPad mini around, and that brings me to an issue. So does it support all the iPads? Because it performs one way with my iPad Pro, it performs another way on the iPad mini. So what does that mean if you have a normal iPad or the iPad Air? So that is something to take note of. But when it works fine, it works perfectly, and it's quite nice to use it with, only when it works fine. With Android devices, just now I have showed you with the Android 7. I'm not sure if it's Android 7 or if it's just a problem with my phone. It doesn't work at all regardless of the orientation. And with the phone with the Android 6, it works in one orientation but not the other. So to conclude, when it works really well. The most important thing is actually the touch screen device that you are using this pen with. Just now I show you 4 different devices and they all perform differently with this stylus. I'm not sure if it's a problem with my devices or with the OS or it's with this stylus, but when it comes to functionality, it's very similar to the Donit Dash 2, and the Donit Dash 2, it performs exactly the same as this pen with all my devices. So I'm not sure. So if you do want to buy this Pendorra Stylus pen, you can ask around online and do some research to see if it's actually compatible with that specific phone or tablet that you are using. So which one you get really depends on which form factor you like. I think the main difference is, of course, the length of this pencil. It's a nice weight and it's well balanced. The tip here is firm. However, with the Donit Dash 2, it wobbles slightly. And the charging system is different as well. Here it uses a USB adapter, and for the Donit Dash 2, there's this USB thumb drive where you have to plug it into the USB port and it will look something like this. So that's all for my review today. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section below. I will post a link to where you can find this pen online, as well as a link to my text review in case there are any updates. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye. Oops. Be careful not to let that stylus roll off your table.